Hi everyone, so today we're going to continue on with Chapter 8, Section 5, Factoring. We're on page 513 today in our textbook. So the first thing we're going to do is go over our homework problems. So in the first one, we have c squared plus 11c plus 18. Now the first thing we have to look at is, remember, we're looking to see what two numbers multiply together to give us this number right here, but at the same time also add up to this number right here. So we have to look at the factors of 18 and then find their sum. So 1 and 18, their sum is 19. 2 and 9, their sum is 11. 3 and 6, their sum is 18. Out of these three sets of factors, which of those added up to 11? 2 and 9. So our factored form is c plus 2 and c plus 9. Let's try this one. X squared minus 8x plus 15. So now, remember, because we have this negative number right here and this is a positive right here, both numbers are going to be negative. So what we have to do is find what two negative numbers multiply to give us positive 15, but at the same time add up to negative 8. So we have negative 1 and negative 15. Their sum is negative 16. We have negative 3 and negative 5, and their sum is negative 8. So out of these two sets, which one gave us negative 8? Negative 3 and negative 5. So our factored form is x minus 3 times x minus 5. How about this one? We have j squared plus 8j plus 16. Now we want to find the factors of 16 that add up to what? That add up to 8. So the factors of 16, we have 1 and 16, their sum is 17. We have 2 and 8, and their sum is 10. We also have 4 and 4, and their sum is 8. So our factored form, so we're going to use 4 and 4, and our factored form is x plus 4 times x plus 4. Now how about this one? We have y squared plus 13y plus 40. So we need factors of 40 that add up to positive 13. So we have 1 and 40, their sum is 41. We have 2 and 20, and their sum is 22. We have 4 and 10, their sum is 14. We also have 5 and 8, and their sum is 13. So out of these four sets of factors, which one adds up to 13? 5 and 8. So we're going to use 5 and 8 to write out our factored form, and our factored form is y plus 5 times y plus 8. And as a reminder, to factor polynomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c, begin with two pairs of parentheses with x at the left of each. So we're just going to open up two sets of parentheses and put x in the left hand side of the parenthesis. Remember, b and c are any number. They're just used in place to represent a number. Next, we're going to find two integers whose product is c and whose sum is b and place them at the right of the parenthesis. That's what we're doing when I say find two numbers that multiply to c but add up to b. So we have x squared plus bx plus c. Here we have positive c, and so we're asking what two numbers multiply to positive c but at the same time add up to positive b. When you have both of those numbers positive, both of those numbers inside the parentheses will also be positive. Because, right, there's no way to multiply a positive times a negative to get a positive. So whenever you have two positives right here, both numbers are positive. How about when we have x squared minus bx plus c? We have plus c. So what two numbers multiply to positive c, but at the same time add up to negative b? So what happens here is both numbers are going to be negative. So when you have minus bx plus c, you have the minus and the plus, both numbers will be negative. Why are both numbers negative? Because at the end, negative times negative gives us a positive. So negative bx and a positive c, both numbers are negative. Now, but what happens if you have a negative c? So if we have this, x squared plus bx minus c. So we have a negative c. So what two numbers multiply to give us negative c, but at the same time add up to positive b? So how do we get a negative number at the end? What do we have to multiply together to get negative? You have to multiply a positive times a negative. So one number will be positive and the other will be negative. Now what's a little tricky here is, because I told you one number is positive, one number is negative, but they have to add up to a positive b. So the easy way to think about it is the larger of the two factors. So just say you have 3 and 5. Well, if you have positive 3 times negative 5, that will give you negative 15, or vice versa. Whatever that larger number is, you're going to make that number the positive number to get this number over here at the end. How about if we have x squared minus bx minus c? Same thing. What two numbers multiply to give us negative c, but at the same time add up to this negative b? So once again, one number is going to be positive and the other is going to be negative. But in this problem, when we have minus b over here, the larger number will be negative. So let's try this. We have x squared plus 2x minus 15. So we see we have a plus and a minus. Because we have a plus then a minus, our two numbers, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So we have to list the factors of 15 and find their sum. So the first thing we do is open up a set of parentheses and put our x on the left-hand side of them. Next, let's start listing factors of 15. So how do I get negative 15? 1 times negative 15. What's the sum of 1 plus negative 15? Negative 14. Negative 1 times positive 15 gives us negative 15, but if we add them together, we get positive 14. If we can multiply 3 times negative 5, we get negative 15, but if we add those two numbers together, we get negative 2. We can also multiply negative 3 times negative 5 and still get negative 15, but when we add them together, what do we get? Positive 2. So now let's look at this list of 4 factors here and figure out which of these add it up to the positive 2. No. Yes. So negative 3 and positive 5 gave us the sum of 2. So what we're going to do now is just fill those in into the parentheses. So it's x minus 3 times x plus 5. How about this one? X squared plus 9x minus 36. So remember, positive and negative. Anytime we have this negative at the end, whenever c is negative, what has to happen? One number is going to be positive and the other number is going to be negative. So first thing we should do is open up our set of parentheses with x on the left and then start listing factors of 36. So we could do 1 times negative 36 to get negative 36, but if we add them together, we get negative 35. Now, since I already know I'm looking for a positive 9 over here, I don't have to say negative 1 times positive 36, because if I realize 1 times negative 36 gave me negative 35, when I add negative 1 and positive 36, I'm not going to get 9. I'm going to get positive 35. So you kind of like skip around if you're comfortable. If you're not, go right ahead. You could continue on doing all those factors. Let's try. 2 times negative 18 also gives us negative 36, but if we add them, we get negative 16. Once again, that's nowhere near positive 9. How about if we do 3 times negative 12? Well, now we get negative 36. If we add them together, we get negative 9. So, but we're looking for what? A positive 9. So let's try negative 3 times 12. Negative 3 plus 12 gives me 9. So now I know we're going to use negative 3 and positive 12 in our set of parentheses. So now we can do x minus 3 times x plus 12. And if we weren't too sure if this was our correct answer, how could we check it? We'd go back and FOIL it. So we do x times this, negative 3 times this, negative 3 times this, combine our like terms, and then we would get this answer back. How about this one? X squared minus 4x minus 21. We have what? Negative, negative. So both numbers, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So let's start listing the factors of 21. First thing, open up the parentheses, x times x. So we could do 1 times negative 21. Add them together, we get negative 20. Negative 1 times positive 21. Add them together, we get positive 20. Negative 7 times positive 3. Add them together, we get negative 4. And negative 3 times 7. Add them together, and we get positive 4. Let's take a look at all these factors we have and see which one of those gave us a sum of negative 4. Right here, 3 times negative 7 added up to negative 4. So we know positive 3 and negative 7 go inside our parentheses. So our factored form is x plus 3 times x minus 7. And lastly, let's try this one. X squared minus 7x minus 8. First thing, let's open up our set of parentheses, x times x, and then we have two negatives here, so we know one number's got to be positive and one number's got to be negative. So now let's start going ahead and listing our factors of 8. 1 times negative 8, if we add them together, we get negative 7. Negative 1 times positive 8, we add them together, we get positive 7. Two times negative 4 gives us negative 2, and negative 2 times 4, add them together, gives us positive 2. So now let's take a look at all these factors here. Which one of these gave us negative 7? 1 times negative 8 gave us negative 7. So now we could go ahead and fill in x plus 1 times x minus 8 as our factored form. So today, our pet of the day. This is just Seth's dog. His name is Orion. Orion is 7 years old and he likes to sleep. So some daily reminders. Your homework is assigned daily and it's posted on Google Classroom and Plus portals. Homework is to be uploaded to Google Classroom or emailed to me before the start of class. If I don't get it beforehand, it's considered late and you will not receive full credit. If you guys have any questions, please be sure to send me an email with your questions. On Friday, I'm going to be giving you guys a quiz. So if you have any questions you want me to address in the review for you guys, send me an email with those. Like if you want to go over a certain homework problem, a classwork problem, send me it and I'll be sure to include that in the review. Have a great day, guys.